Hello, everyone. This is episode number 7. Thank you for everyone who has been watching and supporting, liking, and subscribing. In today's episode, we are going to talk about how you can actually reconnect with that authentic self that you lost along the way. You are achieving success in your work, but there's this nagging sense that something is still missing. You want that deeper connection to yourself and to the meaning behind all of this. You just don't know how. I've got you. If so, you're not alone. So many of us, especially creatives, entrepreneurs, and business owners, can find ourselves feeling disconnected from our own inner worlds, even as we are thriving on the outside. Today, I will talk about the feeling of being out of touch with yourself and how to start the journey of coming back home to who you truly are. I've seen this pattern play out again and again and again, especially with artists, creatives, and business owners. On the surface, my clients have it all: the social status, the success, the money, the fame, you name it. But underneath, there's a sense of unease, a feeling that something is missing. I remember working with one client, let's call her Sarah, a widely successful marketing agency owner. She had built an agency from the ground up, helped a lot of businesses grow, and was making the money she wants. But when we started digging deeper, she confessed, I am living the dream, but it doesn't feel like my dream. I'm not even sure I know what my dream is anymore. Another client, a DJ and a music producer, let's call him Alex, shared a similar experience. He had achieved recognition and played his songs internationally, yet beneath the surface, he struggled with intense creative blocks. He felt he had lost touch with the pure joy and passion that first drew him to creating music. Stories like these taught me something important. Even when we are successful by outward standards, we still carry a deep human need to feel connected to ourselves. And when that connection weakens, we can feel lost, unfulfilled, and sometimes like imposters in our own lives. You learned that being successful will automatically grant you peace, fulfillment, and that is not true. Success will give you an easy and a comfortable life, but it's not going to give you a regulated nervous system, and it's definitely not going to give you pure and honest self-connection. So what's happening here? Why do so many people feel disconnected from themselves even after achieving success? A big part of this comes from how our modern world is structured. We live in a culture that places enormous value on productivity, achievement, and external success. From a young age, we receive messages that our worth is tied to what we do, how much we accomplish, how we appear to others. And as we move through our careers, that pressure intensifies. We are asked to hustle, to push harder. The focus shifts towards external validation, and in this constant pursuit, it becomes easy to lose connection with parts of ourselves, especially our emotions and our values. We begin living primarily in our heads rather in our hearts. We learn to perform the role of the successful person while our authentic selves slowly fade into the background. The irony is this: external achievement alone cannot replace inner connection. Success cannot replace connection. The more we search for fulfillment through accomplishment, the more distant fulfillment feels. Your nervous system and the meaning of your life are not dictated by how successful you are. Again, success is going to give you, to a certain level, it will give you like a small amount of fulfillment, but that fulfillment is going to be short because afterwards you're going to say, oh, but I want more. And then you're going to not be fulfilled, and then you're going to be wanting more. Success will give you comfort. It will give you maybe a life with a lot of opportunities and possibilities, but success is not going to give you a proper identity of who you are. What will give you a proper identity of who you are is you connecting back to your heart, is you understanding your values, your morals, your principles, and always remembering where you come from. So why is staying connected to ourselves so difficult? Part of the answer lies in how our brains are wired. Again, let's talk brain. Humans naturally seek approval and validation. Our brains constantly scan the environment for rewards and safety. In modern life, rewards often look like likes and views, more money, women, praise. When we receive validation, the brain releases dopamine, creating pleasure and motivation. Achievement becomes the source of emotional regulation. And slowly, we lose touch with the deeper internal sources of meaning. There's also a psychological layer to this. We begin living behind performance instead of actual presence. This creates chronic disconnection. We achieve, we function, we succeed, but internally we feel empty. And this disconnection can lead to a lot of things. It can lead to creative blocks, burnout, anxiety, depression, stress. And let me ask you this question. When was the last time you actually went outside and enjoyed the sun on your skin? That is a type of emotional regulation. When was the last time you actually allowed yourself to cry? When was the last time you actually allowed yourself to drive your car and scream at the top of your lungs just because it feels good to do it? You've been conditioning yourself that in order for me to be happy, in order for me to live a valuable life, I need to tie this to performance and achievement. But that is not true. And if it was true, you wouldn't be here watching this video looking for answers to how you can connect more to your authenticity. Connecting to your truth does not require you to perform. It requires you to be, it requires you to exist in your body and to be present and to be aware in the present moment. The good news is that reconnection is possible. Here are a few practices that help rebuild that inner relationship. The first one, we call it self-reflection and journaling. Now, I know you guys don't like to journal. A lot of people think journaling makes no sense, but listen up. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes daily to tune into your inner experience. Simply notice your thoughts and your feelings. You don't really need to go crazy, okay? It's fine. Just write your thoughts, write your feelings, write what happened to you today. That's completely fine. I do not want you to judge yourself as you do this. Just want you to notice. Ask yourself, what emotions are present right now? What do I need today? What stories am I telling myself? Writing helps uncover hidden parts of ourselves and creates clarity around what truly matters. And you know what, guys? This is something I'm realizing right now. Please don't use ChatGPT or any form of AI when you want to sit and reconnect with yourself. No one knows you as much as you do. That is why I emphasize on please bring a notebook, bring a paper, and write down your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own physical sensations, because the only person who can know what you need and what you want and what's actually going on with you is yourself. And this is something that is very alarming, because if you think you need to go to ask ChatGPT what you are feeling right now, there is a big problem, and you really need to tune in with yourself and ask yourself, what happened and why am I not able to connect with my own thoughts and my own feelings alone? Number 2, body awareness and somatic care. What does that mean? Authenticity lives in the body. It doesn't live in the mind. But achievement culture often disconnects us from bodily wisdom. Practices that help reconnect include yoga, breathwork, mindful walking. Just leave that damn phone at home, please, and go for a walk. You can go through gentle movement, you can go to the gym, any type of movement can help. These practices help you sense rather than analyze yourself. And when I say somatic care, I do mean reconnecting with the body. I said yoga, breathwork, but if you're not the type of person who likes to do these things, that's completely fine. Any type of activity that will allow you to reconnect with your body, do it. Again, please stop existing in your head and tap into your body. You will realize that you've been having a lot of pain in your body that you weren't paying attention to just because you're so disconnected. And then that leads you to inflammation, that leads you to chronic and more serious problems. What you only needed to do was to actually connect with your body, listen to what your body is saying to you, and a lot of these problems wouldn't be there. Number 3, spaciousness and solitude. Create moments without stimulation. Again, remove that phone. When you want to connect, remove the phone. No productivity goal, just being with yourself. This could look like this. Again, daily meditation. Go grab a coffee and sit by the beach. Draw for no reason. And we do live in a culture where we are so scared of being alone. We do not know how to be alone. And that is alarming. That is scary. Because when you sit with yourself, it gives you permission to actually ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? But when you are so scared to sit with yourself, that is not going to happen. So I invite you, even if there is fear, even if there's a lot of anger or a lot of grief, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, because usually these emotions stop you from sitting with yourself. Even when you feel these emotions, sit with yourself and ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? And if this is something that's hard for you, there's always a coach, there's always therapists, there's always people who are glad to help. Take a moment to sit with this question. What would it feel like to be fully present with yourself? To be deeply connected to your desires and values? What might open up in your work and in your life from that connection? Let yourself imagine that possibility. I hope this episode was helpful. I offer a one-on-one 3-month program for business owners, artists, and leaders who feel successful on the outside but stuck on the inside. They are not connected with themselves. They don't know how to connect with their authenticity. They feel like they lack meaning. They reach their goals, but they're still not satisfied. All you have to do is go to the link below and book your first discovery call directly with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on my Instagram account @TheAuthenticCoach. I'll see you in episode 8.